Leadership is a commonly discussed topic with an ongoing debate around the traits and attributes that make a successful leader. In fact, the last time I looked on Amazon, there were over 50,000 books with the word leadership in the title. I'm a business leader and I work with and talk with other business leaders across the world every day. And no two are the same. So is there really a formula for success in today's fast-changing world? One thing I've learned about successful leadership from working with leaders all over the world is that it requires a winning mindset. Welcome to Summit Scale, where people come to learn how to transform from entrepreneurship to leadership, to grow their small businesses to mid-sized companies. The successful leaders I work with, of course, have all the usual mindset traits you expect of winners: commitment, accountability, resilience, performance, and vision. But what I've observed, there are three specific elements of mindset that need to be adopted to be a successful leader in today's fast-changing world. First, as well as a big vision, you have to have a medium-term outlook. Future planning is part of any leader's remit, but in today's highly disruptive markets, focusing on the right timeframes is critical to success. A medium-term outlook where you're concentrating on what needs to happen in the next 2 to 3 year period allows you to build an agile business, one that is capable of reacting to and overcoming the rapid change that's become so increasingly common. But there's also a great need to build this into your company's culture. Managers are often too focused on delivering short-term results, which can come at a cost to innovation and flexibility. Organizations that are flexible between delivering short-term results and making their long-term vision a reality are far more likely to adapt to different pressures and overcome adversity. You and your top team should be putting aside a couple of hours each week to take a step back and consider things like the organization's operating model or its strategic direction, as well as considering the technology trends that are likely to disrupt your industry over the next 3 years and how you can use these in your business. The second element is what I call an adaptable stress response, specifically an ability to build a response to stress that switches between periods of normality and short-term pressures. Leaders need to be able to thrive under pressure, but how you manage stressful situations yourself and across your team are critical. Stress is a natural reaction to an abnormal situation or a state of unpredictability. In a business environment, these situations are common and generally alternate with periods of downtime. For a leader, it's vital to create a calm climate during this period of downtime. It's important to focus on reducing stress levels during this recovery period. And as a leader, your role is to bolster your team's coping skills and act as the rational head in times of duress. The third element is being able to admit that you don't have all the answers. It's important that you don't isolate yourself, and it's also important that you make a point of involving other people in your decision making. A common mistake leaders make is thinking that they need to create a perception of themselves as godlike or capable of answering every question and solving every problem. Apart from being hard to maintain, it's a state that stops your team from growing more able and being more confident. And by involving those around you, you make them feel valued and enable them to develop their own skills in making decisions. And what's more, you relieve yourself of the stress of taking on too much. There's really a fine line between being a pillar of strength and an architect who shapes those around them into a highly effective team. So at a time when technology and political upheaval is affecting almost all industries, a winning mindset is an effective route to successful leadership. So using these three elements of reacting and adapting to change are important to sustaining high performance in organizations during periods of disruption. I'm Shane Spears. See you next time.